my second ride. Oh. Okay, I'm on my second ride and I made some changes. First thing, let's look at the battery. It shows 2 out of 5. It showed 4 out of 5 when I started, but now it's down to 2 out of 5, so I'll have to keep my eye on that. Also, I'm not using the wind cover that goes on the GoPro. I'm using the settings for wind noise. I want to see how that works. So I did stiffen up the mount that I showed on the first ride. So I hope it's a little better. I can see it's wobbling. But hopefully the picture will be good. That guy's weaving over into my lane. Come on, man. I did get another mirror here. It's a little bigger. It's much easier to see behind me now. And that's really helpful when you're on this bike, to be able to see behind you what's coming up. I lowered these monitors just a little bit. I think I need to tilt up this one a little bit more, so it's a little easier for me to see. I lowered it so the camera could see, and I can see it okay, just not great. So the last trip was 10 miles. And this trip, I don't know how long it's going to be either. I thought the last one would be 3 or 4 miles. So today's a really nice day. It's a little past mid-February, but it's unseasonably warm. So I thought I'd get out. Only using throttle only, or using throttle only. No pedaling, because I kind of want to get an idea how far I can go on the battery. The bad thing is I didn't bring another battery, so if I run out of juice, I have to pedal hard to get home. So let's see, some useful information about throttle only in the bike is weight. It's always an issue. The lighter you are, the further the battery can push you, or the longer your ride will be. I'm 215 pounds. Coming up on me. let him pass. Give me a chance to look at the battery too more clearly. Looks like 1 tick left. Whoa. Now, last ride I showed that it was a little over 10 on my phone. And then I did an odometer on my car and it was 10 exactly. So the phone is pretty accurate. And if that's accurate, then I've already gone 3 miles. I'm gonna turn right here on Noble. Feeling this is probably a little bit too long of a ride. I'm gonna end up pedaling back. So it's kind of odd that the battery, when I first got on, showed 4 out of 5 ticks, and now it's down to 1. So what that tells me is that I have no idea when this battery is going to just flat out stop. Oh, it's trying to catch up to me. Running out of steam. Stayed up with me for a while. And that does bother me, because out here, obviously, only my 2 rides, people let their dogs just run loose. I don't think that's right. It's not safe for the dog. But I grew up in the country when I was younger, and we lived way out in the country, though. There was nobody around. We let ours run loose too, but not along a road. I suppose I do have the pepper spray. Up to 25 on my bike monitor, and 22, as you can see, 23 there. My GoPro screen turns dark after a while. Probably to conserve battery, but it doesn't let me look down and see what you see, so I have to tap it to bring it back. That's something I learned about my camera. My GoPro 10 is a new to me camera. For the last several years, my YouTube videos were made with a Canon Vixia HF, I think HFR 800 or HF 800. See here that the cruise control is going, and that's a big relief on the thumb. I've got a thumb throttle here, an aftermarket thing I put on instead of the twist, which the bike comes with. And even pushing with your thumb, it gets a little old after a while, so the cruise control is helpful when you're doing throttle only. That guy's pretty fast. That dog, he was almost up to the speed I'm going. So I'm on the, not the highway, but a main road. And one of the questions that was asked of me is, what are the laws about e-biking in Arkansas? And it's the same exact as a bicycle. You don't need a license. Same places a bicycle can go, an e-bike can go. But on our RV trip that we have coming up in 6 weeks, I have to check every state and possibly even every little trail because each state is different. Alright, I'm at 5 miles. This is another circle of sorts. Not too far from where we live. And I really like this new mirror. I'm okay with cars coming at me. Woo, got a headwind. With cars coming at me, but when they come up behind me, that kind of bothers me. When you're on a two-wheeled vehicle, especially one without lights like this bike, people just don't see you like you are in a car. Hell, these days, people don't see you even if you're in a car. Or they're just overly aggressive. Speeding, like this truck right here. Speeding for this area. Seems like everybody's in a dang hurry. Bit of a hill there. No patience. When I started RVing about 11 years ago, I made up my mind that I'm going to try to get rid of all road rage that I have, which is essentially not liking how slow people are left lane hogging. That was a big deal in Arkansas. There's no, until recently, last couple of years, there was no slower traffic keeping the right lane signs or even laws. So you got people that would just ride in the left lane and they did not care. They did not care that people were piling up behind them, and even when the right lane was clear, they would not get over. And that would torque me off, but I made up my mind when we retired that I was going to slow down, because there is no point horn is a little bit weird location and gets hit a little too often for my taste. But when you're RVing, excuse me, and you're retired, I found it's much easier to have my travel days at 4 hours, 5 tops in a single travel day, because we don't like getting up really early, and we don't like getting at campgrounds after dark. So shorter days are less stressful for us. And so that means less of a travel day, which is slowing down, relieve some stress, and even slowing down on the staying in the right-hand lane for the most part, and traveling at, I tend to do 60 to 65 in all major highways where it's 70, 75, and I just stay in the far right-hand lane and let people pass me. And that tends to be okay. There's not too much time where I'm holding people up, but I'm in the far right lane, which is where a good person should be, so people can pass on the left. And for those of you who are left lane hoggers, the left lane is for passing only. Get on the right-hand lane if you're going to go slower. This is pretty much throughout the entire United States. It's common courtesy. Because if you don't, people are going to pass on the right, and that's more chances of an accident happening. Hell, they'll even pass on the shoulder. All right, I'm at 7 miles for this trip. The first one was 10, and this one's going to be, I would say 9 or better as well. Regardless if the battery runs out or not. It's going to be about 9 or so if I'm pedaling. Pedal hard. At this speed, this mileage is eating up pretty good. I'm getting more comfortable with the bike, even though this is only my second trip. That's what I want for my wife too. You need to be comfortable. Cars about to pass me. I was all on the white line on the right, so he could pass me even with the double yellow. So getting more comfortable with the bike and enjoying this ride even better than the first ride. There's less traffic because I've come a little earlier in the day. Let me see if my phone says what time it is. It's 3:18, I think is what it says. Maybe you can see it. But after 4 o'clock, you know, people don't work to 5 o'clock anymore. They're on the highways at 4. It seems like it's easier for folks these days than when I work. But anyway, the traffic is less. It's more enjoyable. Plus, being more comfortable, just relaxing on the bike, it's pretty awesome. Plus, I'm not pedaling. Now, I know I'm going to pedal when I'm in other places where I'm not testing the bike. I know I'm going to pedal. I'm going to do another California stop. That means I don't quite come to a full stop. And it's not because I don't mind stopping, but because if I completely stop, I have to jump off the bike. And we're back in cruise. Yay! I'll be darned, there's sheep in that guy's front yard. I was looking down, so you guys probably saw it before I made that comment. There's sheep loose in that guy's front yard. So I got a little bit of a hill here, and so we slowed down to 22. Anyway, our trip is going to be Pensacola area first. We're going to see Gulf Shores and Destin from there, and visit my mom who lives in Pascagoula, Mississippi, which is where I was born. And then we're going to go along the Gulf, several stops, down into Florida, the Florida Gulf area, cross over to the Atlantic Beach, a beach near the Atlantic. I can't remember the name of the town. And then up to Savannah, and then a campground on the North Carolina beach area. Finally, northern North Carolina, Cape Hatteras, and then back home. So it's basically all beach type stops, and I'm really looking forward to taking the e-bike on some of them trails. It's going to be really fun, I think. It is really, really fun, and with my wife with me, it's going to be even better. So I hope you've been able to hear me, because I've been yammering on basically since I got on the dang bike for the last a little over 9 miles now. I'm coming up on an identification area for where I live, and I don't want that in the video, so I'm going to turn you off. It's recording now. I'm back on my road, and by the time we get back to my house, this road of mine is half a mile. We're going to be just over 10 miles again. What that tells me is this battery does go 20 miles, so that's going to be the indicator for me when I ride throttle only. I'm going to go probably no further than 20 miles from the time I depart to the time I get back. I'm going 13. I'm going a little slower on my road. I'll speed up just a little bit. Battery's not pushing me as aggressively as it was, I can tell that. So we got to be getting down to the end of it. And 20 miles, one battery charged. Awesome. That is freaking awesome. So this will end my first 2 rides. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. I'll give you everything I've known about this Vitilan U7. See you later.